Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's webinar with the National Association of Sales Professionals. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you here. Whether you're watching live or on replay, these webinars, we just love to host them every single week as part of our, added value to our members. So let us know when you're on. Type in the chat where you are coming in from, that you can hear us okay. NASP is a global association, so we have sales professionals tuning in from all over the world. So let us know again in the chat when you're online with us. We have an incredible webinar in store for you today with our CEO, Rod Hairston. So some of you may know him from Sales Mastery or our certification programs. And so he has just built up an incredible webinar today all about rebounding after a tough year. We all know that sales professionals have had to experience a lot of different hurdles this year. And so we've designed one of our last webinars of the year all about how you can rebound after a challenging year and start the new year out fresh. Rod is an executive coach to many, many top-level executives. He has been in this field since about the mid-90s. And so a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience, helping top-level CEOs and sales professionals get through tough stuff. And so he is here today to share a lot of the tips, tricks, secrets, and most importantly, the principles that have helped these executives move into that billionaire status. So we are so glad to have him here today. I see people coming in on the chat, so welcome in. Going to give people just a few more seconds to get settled in so you don't miss a word of what Rod has to say. I'll let you know right now that you will want to make sure to stay on the webinar to the very end today. We have a special announcement about a brand new certification that NASP is going to be offering our members as well. So make sure you stay to the end. Rod is going to have just a ton of great stuff coming through. So I know you're going to be, on your seats listening to him the entire webinar as well. But with that, I'm going to toss it over to Rod here to dive in on how you can rebound after a tough year. Rod?
Hello, everyone, and how are you? And thank you so much, Aaron. I've been very fortunate in my life to come out of the military, go to college, come out of the military, and leverage my special forces experiences and some of the things that I was able to do, working with Anthony Robbins, to work with some of the wealthiest and most powerful CEOs and people in the world. And what's so interesting is I would support them on culture and leadership development for the next level, really leveraging a lot of my military experience. But I started learning some things in return. In fact, I still owe them some of the money for coaching that they paid me. I should give it back, simply because I've learned some beautiful, beautiful philosophies, belief systems, tips, and I want to share them with you. In fact, when we built all of our certifications, we really thought about what are those principles, those best practices that you heard from these billionaires. Now, what's so beautiful about this as well is that a lot of these people were not billionaires when we first started coaching. So I got this reputation around being the billionaire whisperer. And guys, I really didn't have much to do with them being a billionaire. However, my job was to support them in being consistent with those principles, building those habits, those identities. Well, through those experiences, guys, we watched the market go to some really tough and interesting places. As Aaron said, I've been doing this since 1995, long time, right? And we watched the market go. We watched people grow. I watched people we had a little road in Fiji where we would do the Life Enterprise Management Program for new CEOs. And I remember walking on a road with one person back in 1998, and when he had a plan and how that plan turned into $500 million. He sold his company for $500 million and started a private equity organization. And we still do work together. So I started listening to how all of my friends and clients are dealing with this pandemic, are dealing with the uncertainty. And there's a consistency across the board. They all said different things or used different words or maybe kind of came from different viewpoints, but it was all the same. And I want to share those principles with you. And I also want you to know that those principles are in our new certification. right? Certified master sales professional, really showing sales professionals how to build their careers, how to really become the most outstanding leaders, the most outstanding influencers, the most outstanding professionals, the most consistent professionals, how to really tap into the genius that lives in uncertainty. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I'm going to give you this. I want to really give you the value that we promised today. And those are the billionaire secrets of dealing with that level, this level of uncertainty and bouncing back in the most profound and profitable way. So let's get right into it. When you think about these outstanding influencers, the people that lead us, the people that build some of the most amazing organizations, products, systems that we use consistently, how do they bounce back? How do they look at this? Well, the first thing they do, where so many people miss, is they look at their intrapersonal intelligence. One of the most powerful intelligences that is massively overlooked is interpersonal intelligence. In fact, this used to be the number one intelligence before we started getting into the caste system and being more significant than other people. And intrapersonal intelligence is, how do you communicate with you? You must recognize it is your responsibility to communicate with yourself, to observe your performance, your behavior, your identity, your belief systems. And that's what intrapersonal intelligence is. I have the responsibility, which means I have the capability of changing all of my programming, how I view the world, my identity. I have that opportunity, but so few people take it. They think that what you're born with is you, and that's not true. This iPhone, I can take every app off that came and put all new apps on to support my life and to maximize the potential of this phone. For me, for my vision of this phone. And it's the same thing with you and your nervous system. So they know that the uncertainty that comes from a pandemic or situations like this that's a nervous system opportunity to grow and expand. You are impacted at that level, and we're all impacted, guys. I don't care how positive or negative you think you are. We are all going through a little mild depression right now. And how do you bounce back? Well, on the intrapersonal, I want you to think about certain things. Number one, billionaires, people with that billionaire mindset know that this is cyclical, that this is seasonal. Life is cyclical. There's spring, there's summer, there's fall, and there's winter. And in the spring, you do things that you do in the spring. You plant. In the summer, you nurture, you water. In the fall, you reap. In the winter, you survive. And if you did the right things in the other three seasons, you thrive when other people freeze or die. So they know that, and they know that this is winter, and they know that spring is coming, and they know that in the winter, people overreact. So they understand it's cyclical. Number one, when you get that in your mind, when you realize that things are cyclical in nature, then you relax a little bit, because this too shall pass. And that's the number one thing they get intrapersonal, and they remind themselves of that. Number two, under intrapersonal, is they recognize that in all adversity, there's opportunity. In all crises, there's opportunity, right? You've heard that before. That's where there's more billionaires made. And the wealthiest people, I have friends that have made so much more during this pandemic that is absolutely incredible. In fact, I was just telling the team, we have to be very, very careful to be empathetic with people, because everybody around us their businesses are growing like crazy. They're taking off. They're going to the next level. We're growing. We brought people on instead of having to lay people off, because again, we're modeling this intrapersonal genius that we're learning from some of the most amazing people in the world, right? And we're amazing to other people, and there's always another level. There's always people that's operating at that next level. So they see the opportunity. But before you can see it, you got to know it's there. And you have to let yourself, and you have to tell yourself it's there. You got to recognize that. Just listen, go online and do your own research. Opportunity always thrives in uncertainty. And it's always a reset for everyone to get an opportunity to leverage now. In fact, for a lot of us guys, for a lot of people out there that's looking for a chance to grow and expand, here it is. Here it is. You got to understand that intrapersonal intelligence, and you have to take responsibility for it. Number 3, they recognize that if you believe just what I said right now, then all you'll see is opportunity. If you don't believe it, then you'll see obstacles, pain, and crisis. That's how powerful your mind is. 100 billion brain cells. The calculations and permutations of what you're capable of are infinite. So, yeah, this is to our brains and our nervous systems. And I want to be truly compassionate and empathetic to the people that are suffering from this. I really, really want to make sure that this talk isn't really dismissing that. And I want to just say it is what it is when it comes to that opportunity. And the greatest crisis was the most opportunity. But you can't just say it. You got to believe it. You have to put that in your mind. And belief is a feeling of certainty about something. So not only do they believe it, but they're certain about it. They're certain about it because they have references. And I've seen this before. I can tell you countless stories. One day we'll get together at our ranch in Music Hill, and we'll have a glass of wine and I'll tell you some stories. Right now, I want to focus on your references might not be there. So you got to create those references by doing your own research, by getting online and really challenging what I'm saying. The most beautiful thing about challenging people is if I'm telling you the truth, be open-minded once you see and find those references that support that. Believing it, guys. Believing it is a posture. It is a conviction. It is a knowing. It is an understanding. It is a faith. You've heard this before, but stop waiting for something to come in your door and pick you up. Decide to open your door and go out and get it and bring it in, right? Bring it into that heart, to that mind, to that gut. Believe that this is an opportunity for you, and you'll start seeing things differently. You'll start noticing things differently. And in psychology, a scotoma is called a blind spot. That's what it means. And it simply means that when I look to implement strategy to get a different result, if I don't believe that I can get that result, then I'm just trying. I won't see it. I'll have another book to put on my shelf of failure of another thing that didn't work for me. I'm so amazing that all of these things that work for other people won't work for me. Just simply means you have a belief problem. Shift it, change it, and make sure it's in alignment with your vision. And recognize that if you're watching my face right now, you're attracted to this situation. So let's go for it. Number 4, under interpersonal intelligence, they recognize that you must have that confidence, right? Confidence is not competence, guys. Confidence is emotional. Confidence is a posture. It's a power. It's a tonality. It's a statement. It's recognizing that with love and courage, I can have that confidence. I got to step up and be valuable. I got to recognize that all I need is within me now. That is this ultimate statement of confidence. Everything in life that happens to me, I have inside of me the ability to not only deal with it, but to learn from it, use it, help it take me to the next level, to help it move towards the vision and cultivating the gifts, my own unique gifts that I bring to this world. And if you're a sales professional, you are a gift to your organization. You are the most important person in your organization, or you're part of the most important team, because good ideas and all of these great things can't happen unless people know about it. And unless people's patterns are interrupted and they see the value of what you're bringing. And guess who's responsible for that? You are. So thank you for your service. The second aspect of that, the secrets of billionaires, is they are intentional with their interpersonal. So what intrapersonal is how I communicate with me. Interpersonal is how I communicate with other people. The people, my team, my leaders, my customers. This is going to be so important for you to know this now. I want you to have a billionaire mindset going into even if you're just starting in sales. You know why? Because these principles grow as long as you are alive. You see, there's certain books that I read that are so powerful. And I've read one particular book probably about 30 times. Every time I read it, guys, it's a new book. Every time I read it. I could swear that somebody's playing a trick on me and they're bringing a new book in. And I'll even accuse people of that sometimes because I don't remember seeing those things. I don't remember reading that. But who changed? I did. So principle grows with you. And it gives you more of its nectar as you grow. So remember that. So if I'm telling you that these are principles that billionaires use, and you're like, yeah, right. Yes, right. They don't get things that we aren't privy to. They just utilize them more. They believe it more, and they take more massive action than we do. And I'm going to challenge you to do the same. So under interpersonal, that's me. What principles of communication do I bring in now to really support people in growing and going to that next level, right? How do I now show my value by how I communicate to my team, my customers, my friends, my partners, my vendors, whoever and wherever you are, my family members, okay? Number one is I have empathy. Empathy is alignment. I want to align with them before I seek to redirect. I don't want to judge how they're acting or being. I want to be empathetic to wherever they are. I haven't been in their shoes or walked through their experiences. So I'm going to align. And that's what all empathy is I'm going to align before I seek to redirect. I'm going to be caring. I'm going to listen. What is listen? Taking in information with empathy and without judgment. That's all part of the interpersonal skill. Not just talking, but genuinely listening. Some of the most powerful, wealthy, busiest people in the world are the most attentive when we have conversations. And you wonder, while you're running 6 companies and you're giving me not just this time, but you're giving me so much beautiful energy, and I can tell that you're massively engaged. This is why they're successful. And this is why they're successful at that level. And for you want to implement that. You want to take that on. That makes people feel cared for. That makes people feel respected. And it makes people say, I like me most when I'm with you. And that's what we want. Okay. Number 2 is they know their job is to provide certainty. They know that in uncertainty, their job is to support you with certainty. And I need to do that not with my words, which only equals 7%, not with my tone, which equals 38%. Not only, I should say, with my tone of words, but also with my physiology, my body language, which is 55% communication. I know that I got to drive that whole thing home. And I know that certainty is so important that before people can hear what I have to say, they have to feel the power behind what I'm saying. And that's what certainty does. And I make sure that there's congruency in that. So in that certainty is also congruency. They make sure that they're congruent, that their words, their tone, and their physiology matches. It matches their intent and the value that they're seeking to offer, all while being empathetic. They also realize that their job is to create a compelling future in everything that they say. I'm not a psychic. I can't read the future. My job is to always enjoy the now and prepare for a beautiful future. Always, always. And support the people that I care about in doing the same. So I always want to speak to a compelling future. One of the ways you get people out of depression a little bit, or out of being sad or overwhelmed, is really speak to the future, speak to it being compelling. We're going to come out of this pandemic better than we did before. It's always been that way. Why? Because this is cyclical, because it's historical, because this is the way it works. And so I'm massively enthusiastic and excited, not just for myself, but for all of us and what we get to move into, right? And I want to communicate that to you, and I want you to go communicate that to the world. That's one of the things that you learn from these people. They're constantly creating a beautiful, compelling future and a beautiful, compelling purpose, okay? Now, the third level is that these leaders all work on their brand. And this is what, again, when we think about certified master sales professional, you want your energy to speak. And I don't want to get all woo-woo here, but people will tell me all the time, wow, when you walked into the room, or people like this. When they walk into the room, there's a presence there, somebody you want to meet, you want to talk to, somebody that you think is interesting. You don't even know really why you like them, but you do. Or you're intrigued by them, or you're curious. That's the kind of brand or identity that you want to have for yourself and you want to cultivate. Guys, that takes time, but it's doable for all of us. How do I influence you when you hear my name? What is my brand? What is my brand when I walk into the room? What is my brand when you read my book? What is my brand when somebody says NASP or Truths and Visions, or what is the brand? What is it? What is it when we get eye contact or a smile? What is my brand? What do you feel instantly? Okay, I want you to be intentional around that. And I want you to recognize that what a brand does, again, it supports almost what I was talking about. It's vision, right? When people have a great brand, it's visionary. It supports people in thinking of their vision. So when I'm around people that walk in with that level of energy, I think of the future for me, the vision, where I'm going, right? And I really, that supports me being curious. That I think about my own individual purpose. Does it support? Is it valuable? They cause me to think. They cause me to want to be focused. They cause me to want to step up my game just in their presence. Think about if you had that, my friends. Think about if you had that no matter what you're selling. Aside from what you're selling, the value you offer is in the connection with you. That's what we want for you at NASP. That's what we want from you from watching this webinar. That's what we want for you in life, because we owe that to ourselves as sales professionals. If I'm going to do it, man, I want to be smooth. I want to be cool. I want to be confident. I want people to say, man, I love when you're around, right? I want that. And I want that without opening my mouth, right? You think that's possible? It's absolutely possible. Absolutely. Number two is they really have a you too attitude. What does that mean? Well, the most powerful people, the most brilliant leaders and entrepreneurs and sales professionals all show their power. They show their enthusiasm. They show their intelligence and their energetic appeal. But they also look at like you too. You got this in you too. Right? Like attracts like. And that's what I'm saying to you. I've accomplished a lot. I've done some really, really beautiful things in my life. And you too. Some of you are beyond where I am right now. And it's me too, right? You too. You also, right? Everything that I've accomplished, you too. Everything that every one of those billionaires that I talk to, if that's your goal, you can do it too. Absolutely up to you. Everything you need is within you now. You want your brand to support that and bring that out of people in a very powerful way. They have a toughness about them, right? So with all of that genuine love and kindness and smoothness, there's a toughness. There's a toughness. There's a thickness in your identity. I remember a story of my friend bet me money that we went to a store in Canada. He's from Canada. And he bet me money that if I went into this little old lady store that I would buy something. He bet me $100. How dumb was that bet? I was like, dude, I'm not going to buy anything now. So no matter what she does, he goes, oh yeah, you will. Ha. And I was thinking, this is the dumbest bet ever. So we drove to the store in Canada. I go in and I'm cautious and I walk in and I'm looking around. I don't see anything. I don't see anybody. I kind of look around. I thought, okay, I went in the store. I stayed like as long as he told me I had to. On my way out, I felt a tap on my back. I turn around, I don't see anybody. I look down. There's this 4'8" little lady looking at me with these piercing blue eyes and the most powerful person I've ever met. And she grabbed me by the shirt and she goes, get close to me. And I put my head down and she goes, oh yeah, you're a good one. I like you. come over here. I want you to see something. I want you to buy that. And I bought it. It was worth it. I was afraid not to. And it's so funny. And I came out and I had this dumb look on my face, and he was like, I told you that woman, I don't know what it is, but that's power. And we all have that in us. Just imagine if you had some of that power and going out selling. I love that story, and I'll never forget it. And I never went back to that store because I would have bought the store probably if she'd have asked me to. That's power, my friends. And then last but not least, they have style. You have your own unique style. What is your style? See, substance is great, but you got to have the style too, baby. Everybody's got their style inside. Let us support you with that. Certified Master Sales Professional. Guys, thank you. I'm going to turn this back over to my partner, Ms. Erin, and she's going to tell you more about this amazing program.
Absolutely incredible. Thanks, Rod. Before I share my screen and get into the details of what is this Certified Master Sales Professional, Rod, there was one question in the chat that I want to see if we can have you answer. You made reference to a book that you have read over 30 times. What is that book? A lot of curious people out there.
3 Magic Words.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure that you were the one to say that. 3 magic words, yes. Thanks. So I'm going to share my screen now here, and let me know, you all, that you can see this. So Certified Master Sales Professional, what is this new top tier elite certification? The CMSP is really the certification that ties in everything that we have to offer at NASP to get you to that master level of a sales professional, to really build out this identity of a sales professional for you. So CMSP includes both of our 45-day conditioning certifications. So you would take the salesperson certification, really looking at how do I become the sales professional that really makes me go to the next level of my identity? How do I work on myself as a professional? It also includes the Certified Professional Sales Leader certification. So the CPSL is one of our 45-day conditioning programs, really focused at, now that you've built this identity of yourself, how do you support your team? How do you support other people in your organization? That Me Too mentality that Rod was talking about for the rest of your team. How do you learn to communicate effectively with the people on your team? Whether you're in a leadership position or not, a great certification to really bring you to that next level. We also have just launched this last month our brand new Advanced Sales Influence program. So this is a 6-week program. Unlike the other 2 certifications that were 45 days, Advanced Sales Influence is really a deeper dive into our models, into the principles of how you can effectively influence people. Rod spoke a lot about that brand, that identity. This program will support you in really taking everything you learned in both of those conditioning programs to the next level. You can't have a Certified Master Sales Professional certification without our Sales Mastery program. So at $199 a month, Sales Mastery, which will be our new price moving into the new year, includes those weekly coaching calls with Rod. You have multiple advisor calls, and this is really the important part of this certification, to making this long-term, to making this a part of your identity at that much deeper level. So what you'll see is after you take these programs, this is actually a 14-month certification. And it's going to come with a personal NASP advisor to walk you through the process, to support you with your start dates, to do a bit of recon and really figure out what is your outcome and how can we support you as a sales professional. If you were to do all of these pieces a la carte, this would be over a $5,000 investment, and not to mention all of the value adds of those live coaching calls, those calls with Rod, and all the workshopping that we do with you personally. But if you bundle this together and decide from the very beginning that you would like to be CMSP certified, you actually save about $1,500, bringing this certification down to just $3,700 over the course, again, of 14 months to really take you to that next level of a sales professional, to really support you in becoming that master and building out that identity. Now, I know that many of you on this call may have already taken one or both of our certifications. You may be in Sales Mastery as well. What we'll say to you is, On the website, there's actually just a contact now button. What you'll do is click that contact now button. You're going to set up a time to talk with one of our NASP advisors. I just put the link in the chat. And we're going to work out, if you've already taken one or both of these certifications, how you can still become CMSP certified, even if, and we'll take out some of the certifications you've already done, and you would still get that CMSP certification. Again, our top tier, most elite certification that we've designed just for you. So really encourage you all on the call. Take a look at that link, set up a call with an advisor, and let's walk through a game plan to make 2021 your best year yet. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Thank you, Rod, for everything that you shared. And we look forward to continuing to support you all through the rest of the year and into the new year as well. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.